burning operation hardens the image to produce an enamel that is acid resistant.
Wow, that's pretty hardcore.
In general, etching will take place between the dots and wherever the metal is bare. Halftones, black and white or color, are made on copper.
I can almost smell it.
Now you might say that the job has just properly begun. Etching is the next step, and the plates move to another crew of craftsmen who have to be able to read dots as easily as you read the headlines.
Hey, you don't know my reading
In
habits.
the etching machine, which works just the opposite to electroplating in that it eats away metal, they make the first bite.
Deep fried in our top secret spice blend.
Just barely enough this time to see how things are going and get a little depth in the plate.
Depth in advertising? I'll believe it when I see it.
This is what they call staging, because the work requires so many stages.
Very clever, very clever.
After the plate has been powdered, they work it over with a special acid-resistant ink.
Great news for Coco the Clown.
They regulate tones and effects by holding back certain spots and areas. Then, hardening of the ink on the gas burner. Etching some more in the iron solution.
This is making my mouth water. It looks delicious.
Repowdering, preparing for another stage.
They're going to go out of business before their ad's ready.
Keeping up the process as they translate what they see in the copy into the effects on metal that will eventually produce a perfect reproduction. It may take several days of this tedious work before the etcher feels he has captured the picture on metal.
Or he might just phone it in and punch out early.
In color plates, there are tricky decisions to make, like bringing up the yellow under all the colors that call for solid yellow undertone. But black and white plates aren't easy either. This is one modern operation which cannot depend on machinery. There is still the deep etching operation.
Oh, yep. The old DEO. Yep, that's classic. Classic. Say no more. How often do you guys clean your fryer?
And the process that involves dragon's blood, an acid-resistant substance made from a Malayan palm tree.
Well, la-dee-da.
As the bite goes deeper, there is a chance of undercutting.
Oh, God, no.
So they build up the sides by brushing on this special red powder.
Lowry's seasoning salt?
One brushing in each direction, and sometimes more.
Sometimes a hell of a lot more.
After a plate is etched deep enough, it still isn't finished. This is the job of the finishers.
Are they Marvel or DC?
For ease of handling, they hold the plate on a little leather bag of sand and go to work with an array of delicate tools. Patience is another tool you begin to notice as the slow hours go by.
As your regrets and misdeeds circle your head in an unending pageant of sorrow.
Patience and skill, know-how in all its glory.
Yes, but do they know how to love?
This means really intimate work with the dots. Look at a half-tone reproduction with a magnifying glass. Get right down among the dots that are organized to do things to your imagination with printer's ink.
I'm not comfortable with that level of dot intimacy.
These boys can clear out dots that are clogged.
Well, these dots been eating.
Or they can bring up lost dots with the point of a tool and delicate muscle coordination.
They can take a dot from the streets and make it the belle of the ball.
The tools have efficient names: lining tool, angle tint tool, dot razor, flat chaser, shooter, and a lot more.
Micus and Dano and Frailbot.
At first we taught the basic idea of photo engraving. It looked simple, but what we have seen of the actual work are only the highlights.
Oh, man.
There is still excess metal to be routed out. This is done by machinery, but it isn't automatic. The machine has to be carefully guided by hand, with smaller tools for the very close work.
Tell me more about the tiny tools.
To accommodate some types of presses, some of the plates are mounted on selected cherry wood. After about a week, the plates are ready for proofing.
You don't proofread
How
first?
does it look? Here is another inspection.
All that work for crummy commercials.
It may have to go back again to the etchers and finishers for the fine points of perfection.
Too long, didn't read.
Color proofs involve critical registration and corrections on as many as 4 plates that have required up to 4 weeks to produce.
Haven't these guys heard of Photoshop? Last week, Tony wore a tie to work, got sucked into the machine. Now he's a walking mad fold-in. Just doing our part to sell what's-its and doodads.
It has taken a long time.
But print media is finally dead.
A progressive proof shows the impression from each plate proofed in its own color, and how the colors print over each other in the proper rotation.
Or your money back.
Producing the finished 4-color proof. The job has involved things like special handmade negatives,
Yeah, I remember that.
a
Sure.
host of chemicals most people never hear of,
Indie chemicals.
gas burners, dragon's blood, razor-sharp knives,
Nuclear warheads.
arc lights, staging ink, and acid baths.
Are you guys okay?
To say nothing of shooters and draw tools.
Well, now you went and said something.
But also it has involved a feeling for highlights, shadows, tones, and textures.
And pictures and stuff.
It has involved steady hands, keen eyes, patience, critical microscopic inspections to see if the plates are etched deeply and cleanly enough. And something that is acquired slowly over long years.
Money.
Know-how.
Oh. And get up and go. And stick to itivity.
A mastery of lines and dots to create pictures. For in advertising,
Say
the
it.
heartbeat of modern
Say it.
business,
Say it.
the picture is the thing.
Yeah, the thing I look at for 0.8 seconds and then put it back on the toilet. Thank you so much for watching Fun with Shorts. This series is supported by Patreon and patrons like these wonderful people right here. They get early access to new episodes and exclusive episodes every month. Also, check out the updated funwithshorts.com for DVDs and merch and all the good stuff. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next time.